So appreciate you. You know, I love that its responsibility is to give hope. And I see that in here. And it really is, you are like the perfect model when you can hear in Eastern Europe that they don't have a big income and they are creating that in such a short period of time. And your team is exploding. I love it. You are definitely mission possible person. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So you guys, I don't know about you, but I know I'm going to be watching this recording again and again because I can't keep up with taking notes. And there's so much information. And we have come to our last speaker of the day. And I'm not kidding. I know we've went over time, but it has flown by. And he's the guy who probably motivates me the most. And he also helps me through, anytime I'm having struggles or something, I know who to call because he understands me. But he's also the guy who's been leading this company and knows where he wants it to go. And we've been growing in crazy rates, and yet his vision is bigger and far beyond what we can think of. So I'm so honored that he has taken the time to get on our virtual summit here all the way from Norway. Thank you for coming on, the founder of Zinzino, one-star global president, Orjan Saele. Hi, Orjan.
Here is the thing, a definite decision that can make nearly any mission possible. And that's what we got to get to at the end of this summit, is that we got to make some decisions about where we're going. So I want to just go through quickly because I don't think we can speak and address a group as a leader today without mentioning that there is a danger out there. And that danger is real, and it's real to many people. And our hearts goes out to all of those that get their health impacted, or a family member's health impacted, or a relative member impacted, or somebody that gets their finances impacted, or the finances of somebody in a family impacted. But at West Shared, I also think that we got to be that light tower out there. And I was thinking about what a great example when you're in England. But when you're in Minnesota, you need airplanes and you need stuff to get to go and see that light tower, because there isn't that many of them in Texas, or, well, maybe some south in Texas. But I mean, in most of the Midwest, I'm thinking, Wes, we got to be that shining light and light tower. I know you know what it is, but I mean, we got to get in there and we got to get those examples for people that they can relate to. And of course, they can relate to the light tower. But I want to just talk about my kids, because like everyone else that have kids, and I love it, and you're supposed to love it, you know. You're supposed to love to be home with your kids all day long, and they're lovely, but they're definitely decided. And of course, that's all from Hilda's side. I'm the easygoing, flow with, yellow personality, so they can't have any of that from me. But then sometimes I go, well, I don't know. My son is so much like me. So here the other day, I had this conversation with him because it's getting late and Sarah is already going to bed, and I'm just going to do some activities with him before he'll go to bed. And he wants to go swimming. We've got a beautiful pool at home. So one indoor, one outdoor. The outdoor one is for way later for us Norwegians, because we have like 10, 12 degrees outside. But I want to go and do something else and go swimming, because that takes a little bit more time in many ways. So I say, well, I've got 3 options for you. We could go outside, sit in the sun, and I could tell you a fairy tale. Or we could go outside and we could jump on the trampoline. Or we could go outside and I could be a lion. I could chase you around the garden and we'll have all of this fun. And he's already been going on about the pool for a little while. And then he looks back at me and he says, Dad, that's your 3 alternatives. Here is one alternative. We can go swimming. Guess who was going swimming that evening? That was me. because he made a definite decision. I had suggestions. He had a decision, and he was not backing down. And that's a good thing when it comes to making a decision of where you want to go in life. There is times where you need to back down. In relationships, you need to back down sometimes to make them flow and make them go. But in life and where we want to go, we want to make that definite decision on where we're going, making our mission absolutely possible. Then I've got my 18-month-old girl, and she is absolutely gorgeous. And she just started going to the podium, which is so fun. She goes over there, and here's the thing, she is also so decided, because after she goes, she does not let us touch anything. She wants to pick it up and then go over and clean it and do everything yourself. And if you try to interfere with it, she will get so mad, because she's decided, I want to do my things my way, don't interfere. It's maybe a little bit too early at 18 months, but it's teaching me a little bit about how it happens when you're decided, how you get things done, and how you get rewarded when you get things done. Because obviously the reason why she wants to do it is that because every time she does it, when we come down to mommy, I will be telling mommy, and she doesn't speak yet, she's just nodding this or that way, and she's so cute. I will be telling mommy about her great achievements, and she loves listening to that. So that's why she doesn't want to make me interfere. But she's decided, and that's important. And about 15 years ago, and I was planning a half-an-hour training. I'm not going to give you half an hour, because half an hour, that would, well, for Carla, that's been running this show already, and all the Europeans, it's getting late. And I'm going to let you out a little bit early. I'm going to finish up in about 10, 15 minutes. But what I decided 15 years ago was that we were going somewhere with this company. Actually, I've got the board behind me here. And when I draw this up here, it's more or less to stand up and get some excitement, because we got to move around and have some fun. Because, you know, all of these online meetings, they're very good, but if everyone is just sitting in their screen, you know, like this for 4 hours, it's like, I was thinking, how do I make like the kind of rubbing party going online? But I mean, everyone is one-on-one. We can't make that happen, but at least I can go up and draw something on a board. Maybe you can see it, but I'll be this cartoon at least, because it's getting dark here. So you've got the light there. So here's the thing. When we started the company in 2005, we had a long-term vision about where we were going. The vision wasn't as big in the beginning as it is now, but we said by 2020, we want to reach 1 million customers. And then came 2010, and this is what we achieved. Then came 2015, and this is what we achieved. And now we're in 2020, and guess what? We missed our vision. So we changed our mind and said we're going to hit it by 2025. Because we didn't reduce the vision, we just gave ourselves a little bit more time, because it was a definite decision that we wanted to reach 1 million customers. And here's the thing, back in 2005, we started with coffee. Then came the financial crisis. I remember those, because our company grew a lot more during the financial crisis, especially after that. So the crisis made us grow. The crisis made us better. Then came 2010, actually right here, 2010. And I got my stomach problems. Then we got to 2012, and I found the solution. The balanced oil product was introduced. The test woke me up, made me aware that the critical nutrients for proper health wasn't inside of me. And then the balanced oil with the polyphenols inside and all of that, that made it go inside of me. And I was healthy again. I could enjoy food again, could start exercising. So a crisis made us innovate. And this was one of the best growth years that we ever had so far. So far, I'm saying so far, because greater growth years are coming. And by the way, before I go on here, I just want to recognize all of the people that have been sharing. You've been absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Art. Absolutely brilliant presentation, making it simple. Carla for hosting, amazing. And Julieta Crown, I love it. Julieta, you got it. I think she sees me, or maybe she muted me off because I'm speaking too loud, but absolutely love it that she hit Crown. Arla did a presentation that was outstanding on the compensation plan. And we've got other people. I was just coming in at the end of Cash sharing, and I love Cash, love his development, love his, I don't know, 40,000 customer team, something like that. I don't know how many he has, maybe it's 30,000, 50,000, somewhere there. And Wes was doing an amazing reminder about that we got to get together and do the business like we did before, even though it's brought online. So back to this, we had this crisis and it made us grow. And then in 2015, we came into a self-inflicted crisis with IT, and some of you lived through that and some still remember the pains of that. And that made us not grow immediately, but it made us grow as a company, becoming a Nutri-Med tech company, becoming a company that puts tech first, becoming a company that was preparing for a situation like this where we couldn't meet and we would have to take everything online, bettering processes, hiring better people, building an internal IT staff so that in the future we can be tech-led. So the crisis made us better and set us up for growth in the future. Then we came into the European markets 2017, 18. We found Ria. Thank you so much, Ria, for showing up. It's she sometimes say, "Don't you find me hard to work with?" And I said, "I'll take 100 of your with all the good and all the bad compared to a lot of other people because the volume. I like the volume, Ria. Thank you so much. And by the way, she's fantastic to work with." So that happened there. And now we're in 2020. And what we've done in these 15 years that have gone by, 15 years, is that we've grown 33.8% annually. That's been our growth rate. And that's good. We hit last year 77 million euros, should be somewhere about $85 million, something like that. So 77 million euros. We're right now at this moment at 264,800 customers. But what's good is the speed we have at this moment, because last quarter of last year, we hit between 40 and 50% growth every month. And first quarter of this year, we hit between 40 and 50% growth every month. So we're on a totally different growth rate. So what we think will happen is that the 1 million customers will be coming in 2023. That's when we'll hit it. 2-3 years from now, we'll be at that 1 million customers. Maybe even faster. I've got this feeling inside of me that we're going to innovate some things in this crisis right here. The COVID-19 might be not the best thing that happened to the world, but for us that are mastering the crisis, it might be the best thing that happened to Zinzino because of the innovations that are going to come out of it and because of how it's steering the world in our direction. So our decision on test-based nutrition is getting popular because of the virus. And that's kind of strange to say, but I'll explain it in a few seconds or a few minutes. So here is 1 million customers, then will come 2030, then 35, then 40, then 45, and then eventually 2050. And by 2035, we're going to go to 20 million customers, which is an enormous number. Be number one direct selling, number one inside of the Omega Health business. So, and also number one inside of test-based nutrition, obviously. And we'll hit that by just doing this number. We actually don't need to grow as fast as we're doing now to hit that. In fact, if we do 33.8, the next 15 years, the exact same that we did last 15 years, we'll have 22 million customers. I forgot 2 million. Isn't that fun with numbers? When you're getting such high numbers that 2 million seem insignificant. We've been working 15 years, we're getting 260,000, and here I even forgot 2 million. And then if we go to 2050, our goal is 100 million customers. And in fact, if we did this growth rate, that would be 709 million. So we've said that 12% annually after we hit 20 million is a realistic number. We believe in it, and we're going to do it because we've decided that we're going to do it. Whew. That was a lot. Try to do this with translation. 6th event today, half of them with translation. And I have to wait forever between every sentence. It feels so good just being able to speak. Okay. The vision is for growth, but more important than the growth is why we grow. The kind of company we are, the kind of products that we promote, the kind of impact that we make on lives, how we protect people, how they protect their health, how we protect the cell, how we make the optimal function inside of every cell. That's why we want to reach the growth. And then we will develop more products. We'll develop new tests. We will, in the future, maybe do 150 biomarkers instead of just a few that we're doing today. Then we will take all of that data, and then we'll make the most custom-made nutrition in the world for the people, so that people can achieve what they want, which is to live healthy for as long as possible and be protected against all the different crises that will come up. Because here's what I can promise you, next 15 years, we will not have one more crisis. We will not have two more crises. Most likely we will have 3 more crises go through. And every time a crisis hits, we will innovate, we'll get better, and we will grow, and we will reach our goals because of the crisis. Because we've made a definite decision. We're ahead of a global mega trend. 500 million people are already taking some form of omegas. 97% of those that are taking omega globally fails this test. Another 500 million people around the world is taking some kind of nutrition with no omegas. 99% of those people fail this test. That's 1 billion people that when they get tested, don't get the proper result, meaning it means that they're not getting the critical nutrients for health. And then when they start on our products, in 4 months, they get all of those critical nutrients, and we prove it to them. That's a beautiful system. That's why I'm saying this is becoming a global megatrend. And what a global megatrend means is that it becomes something that, at least inside of that buyers group of 1 billion. So you see, a global megatrend, sometimes it goes to every single person, but sometimes it goes to a segment. So at least to the segment in the world that says, well, eating regular food, man-made food, is not going to keep me healthy. So they've decided that they want to have nutritionals in addition to that. Inside of that billion will definitely be creating a megatrend. Every single person inside of that will be wanting to test in the future. There is no doubt in my mind about that, because it would be ridiculous if there is an answer out there and where you refuse to take it when you're already spending the money on products. That's called insanity. And they don't want to be insane. It's just that the answer hasn't been easily accessible. And when they test, they'll flock to our product and they'll explode our company. So the future is looking so bright. I'm not done, Carl. I'm sorry. I'm getting excited and time flies here. I'm so sorry about that. I thought I was going to be short, but it's going to take a few more minutes, okay? Because I want to just explain to you what's happening after the crisis. Because right now we're in the middle of the storm. We're in the center of the storm. And after the crisis, we won't go back to normal immediately, but we'll go back to somewhat normal. The health communities are developing brilliant drugs. They're developing vaccines that will bring us somewhat back to normal. But still, for all of the people that is in the risk group and all of the people that in the future will come into the risk group, they have a wake-up call because of the crisis. And here's what happened in China. post the crisis. So when they reopened China and they were allowed to go back to the stores again, it wasn't sales of iPhones and all of those things, cars and so on that exploded. In fact, those sales are down. They had a 6% loss in their GDP for the month of March, or actually for the first quarter, and a little bit up in the month of March. But here is one thing that did explode. That didn't grow 10%, that didn't grow 20%, that didn't grow 30%, that didn't grow 40%, that didn't grow 50%, that didn't grow 60%. Nutritional sales went up nearly 70%. Because people realize if the reason for me being protected is if I protect my heart, if I protect my immune system, then I'll be fine. Then I want to spend my money on things that makes me fine. So the crisis is gonna, after it, is gonna boom or market after this crisis. So during the crisis, it's gone up a little bit. But after the crisis, when we need to get out of our quarantines, out into the cities again, out into the restaurant, back to work, back to kindergarten, back to schools, when we need to do all of those things, what happens is that we need to be even more careful about protecting ourselves. And there is not so much that can protect us from the virus, but we can build a protection so that we're healthy before we meet the virus. And that's the thinking of people. And that's why it's absolutely going to explode after the crisis, when we get back to the shopping mall, when we get back to the normal life. And then Cincino is going to grow in the middle of that, because you make a definite decision. I want to be diamond, or first decision, I want to have those 25 customers and make that $500 bonus and those $300 a month. Then I want to have 50 and make that $700 a month and a $2,500 bonus. I need that. And then I want to make 100 subscribe and save products going out to customers, making them happy, and make my $10,000 bonus $1,500 a month. Then I want to be executive. Then I want to be diamond. Then I want to be director. Then I want to be crown. Then I want to be royal crown. Then I want to be black crown, ambassador, royal ambassador, black ambassador, and finally president. Make that definite decision on where you want to go, because it's critical. It's so important. Testing has gotten a whole nother focus. I just read now one of the key people inside of the investment communities in Norway. She said that test-based systems will grow like crazy post this, and especially the at-home test-based system will grow like crazy after this crisis. Everyone is seeing that, because the only way to be safe is to get tested. The only way to know that you have the critical nutrients for health inside of your cell, a healthy cell membrane, is to get tested. And everybody, I mean, I've never seen any prime minister or any president around the world mention the word test more than in the last 30 days. Every newspaper, every outlet, they're talking testing, testing, testing. And then working from home is becoming more popular. Online video conferencing, meeting your neighbor on Zoom becomes normal. People have parties. Well, I love Vess's party because that's actually getting something done. But people have parties. They open a bottle of champagne and they meet their friends on Zoom and they have a party. They have a dance party on Zoom, you know? Meeting people on Zoom is the new normal. So it makes it easier for us to book the meetings, arrange it, and get people into our presentation pipeline. And Cincino has become better because of that, with virtual summits like this one and all the things we're innovating. And by the end of this crisis, we'll have a perfect online system matching our offline system, making us go from maybe 40, 50% growth to, I believe, over 100% growth. And then the cost of operating the business is down to a Zoom account, $15 a month. That's incredible. And you can build it not only locally, not only with your neighbor, not only in one city in your state, not only in your state, not only in your country, but in basically 30, 40 countries around the world. From your home, from day one, you can launch an international business. You get in on the ultimate body kit, get 4 of those health protocols or whatever is in the kit. I don't know if it's out or not, or if it's talked about or not, but new things are coming into the kit. And then you get that, and then you get your money back as soon as you have the 25. You get refund, you get $300 a month, 500. Everything is set up for us to go into an incredible growth. So look at this timing right here. This is you, timing. I don't know if that's... Sorry about that. That was my table falling over. No worries. It wasn't the house. It was just the table. Here is you. And you've got this perfect timing right here. For 15 years, we managed to build 264,000 customers. The next 15 years, we're going to get 21.7 million more customers. You're coming into this company when everything is happening, when everything is getting to the right place. People are getting excited about it. It's the perfect timing for you to take action now. So make that decision. But as you make it, be sure that you get the right focus, because it's easy to end up focusing on the past. And if you focus on the past, you say, well, I don't know if I can do it. If I focus on the past of my son, I was out running his bike yesterday, and he is still having those supporting wheels, and he's 5. If I go back at 4, he was still wearing supporting wheels, and he was very tired in every hill. If I go back to 3, he was in a 3-wheeler. If I go back to 2, I was carrying him. If I go back to 1, he was crawling around. If I go back beyond that, he didn't exist. So anything I look at in the past doesn't really matter. That's not what you look at. You look at the future. At 6, he's going to bike. At 7 or 8, he's going to be maybe even on a cross bike on a ramp and jumping and doing tricks. And maybe if he takes a biking as career, he's going to be one of the world's best bikers. He's for sure going to be a superstar leader in this world, not because I look at where he comes from, I look at where he's going. So that's when you make your decision. Look at where this company is going. We're going to 1 million customers in the next 3 years. We're going to 20 million or 22 million in the next 15 years. And you can be one of the leaders in that. You're in at the very beginning of the beginning. So make your decision for going full time as soon as possible. Back to you, Carl.
I started by saying that you are the one who motivates me, and I can see we're all sitting on the edge of